Welcome to Atlanta Tarot. This is the tarot forecast for Sagittarius for the month of September, including late August. The sign, we are in the sign of Virgo. The element is earth, and you are in your 10th house of your world, the worldly view you see yourself in, or how you see your role. Might be quite a confronting time actually, Sag, because it's the time when we think, am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing with my life? What's going on? Am I happy with it? Where do I fit in the whole scheme of things? The energy is the slow-moving Knight of Coins. So it will be a slow-moving month because we're in Virgo, so expect it to be a bit of a slow but purposeful month. No rush when the Knight of Coins is around, Sag, which is hard for you guys because you like to be your fire, so you like to be in a rush. Okay, let's see. Slow moving but purposeful energy this month. Where you are right now, have the Devil, so feeling a bit stuck. And this is quite apt to being in the 10th house as well, because we sort of really reflect on where we are, what we're doing, as in work, etc., or just anything, even if you don't work anymore or whatever. It's just that kind of card that sort of signifies a bit of a rut, a bit of a focusing too much on one thing. It's very much an card of addictions as well. So you may want to clean up a few things that you feel sort of can overrun your life sometimes. Alcohol, sex, drugs, cigarettes, all those, food, gambling, all those things that we kind of need to, they tell us, you know, this is the sort of devil sort of being stuck. It's a good card to have in a way, especially at this time, because a few of you may be feeling like this. And then we can just kind of reflect and examine on it. Let's see how to sort of, you know, alleviate those symptoms, if you like. Let's see the influencing card, which will influence this and indeed the rest of the reading. And we have the Magician. So the spiritual messenger comes in and sort of says, well, here beggars the question, are you doing what you're meant to be doing? Are you doing too much of something and not enough of the other? And it's very much a spiritual connection. It's about really connecting with who we are inside our human selves, and just risk and potential, and sort of balancing it out, I guess, too, with the Magician. But it's that time for Sagittarius to just be quite aware of what's going on and what you're doing too much of and what needs to be balanced out a bit more in this life at the moment. Two big cards. Very interesting, Sag. Can be quite confronting too, but never mind. Let's see what was going on in July, August. Yeah, a bit of grief there, a bit of sadness there, reflecting on sad times. For a lot of us, there have been sad events this year that have really sort of swamped us, both globally and individually. Very much this Three of Swords comes up when that grief sort of surfaces and we sort of feel overwhelmed by missing somebody or something, and just sort of being forced in a way to sort of confront it once again. So that's sitting there, so that's still around, and because of that, this is why you may have sort of just lapsed into sort of a bit of excess here and there in order to try and combat that grief or that sadness that's sort of risen to the surface. Heavy, isn't it, Sag, for us? Okay, let's see recent influences. And we have the Two of Swords. So definitely trying very hard, very sort of a lot of swords energy, a lot in your head, Sage, really trying to make a decision to move forward, but not being able to quite make it. Quite difficult period, because as you see, this is only a minor card, but then it can have us second guessing everything we're doing. We know we've got to do something in order to alter how our lives are going, but then it's really difficult. And the only way forward is just to make the decision and move forward, and then at least you can feel like you've done something to try and alleviate this stuckness that's around at the moment. Okay, let's see the lesson you'll be learning in this time. But you have stability and financial stability, stability in your work, all those sorts of things. You are very earth despite what's going on, and despite how you see yourself, Sag. See, this is how we land, I suppose, and with the 10th house, it does sort of make us sort of really put everything under a microscope. Am I doing this job right for me? Am I, doing what I should be doing, all that kind of thing? But we've got this stability card sitting here, and it is indeed a card of Virgo. So it's kind of saying to you, whenever you sort of feel like you might be overwhelmed to death by this group we have here, just remember that you have this strong stability, and remember to fall back on that, because often, that could be disastrous if you didn't have that. Near future, and we have karmic justice, so the rebalancing of everything. So I guess this is a really nice antidote for what's been going on here. It's karmic. It's very much, this is how things go, cause and effect. And this is grief too, is cause and effect, and how we deal with it. And sometimes we just don't deal with it well at all, depending whatever else is going on. But this is a positive card to sort of come out with, and to sort of give you the hope that yes, things will balance out eventually, very sooner than you think. But it is that karma of cause and effect. This is what happened, especially with grief sitting there. It's always, a lot of us try and avoid thinking about sad things, but it always chases and catches you. Let's see what's happening that you're not realising. And we have karmic debts being repaid. So really, these two are great. So yes, even though it has been quite a difficult time, you can sort of know here with this one that your karmic debt has been paid off. So this cycle will indeed come to its end, even though from what I'm seeing here it's going to be, or it has been, quite turbulent for you, Sag. But by facing it all, you come to this clear, this is the clearing card that sort of says, well, you've been to the bottom and now you're rising back to the top. So there's a lot to be said for that. Let's see how others see you. Yeah, 2 of coins. So very much everyone else sees you. Oh, balancing life, things going along well, having this going, juggling really well. They don't see all the anguish that's underneath, or all the sort of excesses that you've been hiding in or hiding behind. They see just this strong sort of outward person that's sort of juggling everything along very well, got everything going well, got money coming in, everything's sort of doing well, got lots of hopes and dreams for the future, and sort of doing pretty well actually. But conversely to this can sort of talk about adding something extra to sort of, hobbies or something that can be turned into a money maker later on. There's very much a possibility of that. That's how other people see you, Sag. But as we know, it's not how you're seeing yourself. So there's a big difference in that, isn't there? Okay, let's see what you're feeling positive about. And we have Scorpio death. So very much the card of transformation. Transforming, a big transformative situation at the moment. Just keep going with it, changing those things you want to change, or balancing those things you want to change out a bit, sort of, because they have sort of tipped over the edge a bit. And, you know, really keeping a handle on that, and sort of really having a good hard look at yourself and where you're going and what you're doing is the Scorpio card. Very challenging. And it's only at certain times of the year that we can kind of really, you know, do this Scorpio death card, I suppose. Because most of the times we're just, you know, cruising along going, oh yes, everything's fine. But yeah, this is the time where, and especially with the 10th house, this is what's going on, exactly. So a good card to just know that you are transforming slowly, even the thought or even the nuance that you know that something has to give and you have to change something in your life, especially with those addictive tendencies that we all have to whatever they are attached to. But it's about sort of, you know, being a bit retrospective on that. The outcome. Oh, if it looks too good to be true, it probably is. Oh dear, Sag, and coming up to Scorpio, another Scorpio card. Yeah, just be careful. Just try and keep on this transformative sort of level you're on at the moment, and just sort of keeping things, you know, keeping things balanced for yourself. Try not, and you can't have everything all of the time. You can have some things some of the time. And that's that. I'll just pop another card under that, underneath. And we have the 10 of Cups, so emotional, you know, the emotional card of everything looks good on the surface. Maybe emotionally is the next cycle that you're coming into, the emotional cycle, where you kind of work with one thing at a time rather than with the 7 of the Cups. They want everything to look, everything looks good and you feel like you can have everything all the time. Well, we know that just by experience we can't. So maybe your emotional sort of well-being is really going to be challenged out of all this, especially with the Devil card there, you know, hiding behind alcohol, drugs, or whatever, food, or whatever it is, to sort of, you know, so you don't have to think about the things that really hurt. Oh, Sag, I'm sorry, it's just going to be an interesting month, slow-moving month, but never mind, just plod on through. We're all in it together. It sort of makes a bit of sense to me exactly as well, because I'm a Sag, and yeah, let's just get through and sort of try and see the bright side, and have lower expectations of ourselves. Okay, and so the message is peace, compassion, forgiveness. These are the real ultimate sources of power for peace and success in life. There you go, Sag. Thanks for listening. Sorry it wasn't the most uplifting, but in a way it's a good card for reflection, a good spread for reflection. Thank you very much for listening.